In this world, there are pretentious idiots that say reading fiction is a waste of time. They're just stories about imaginary people and made up places that distract us from what really matters in our world. Your time is better spent reading a biography about a titan of industry or immersing yourself in self-help improvement mumbo jumbo. The message is clear. You're an adult. Your life is about learning skills that can be monetized. Grow up, get your head out of the clouds, and get to work. Escapism is cowardice. It's procrastination. But brother, I'm here to tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. Stories are in our DNA, and they have been used to teach timeless lessons throughout all of human history. Why? Because it works. Reading fiction as a form of escapism allows us to talk about real-world issues in a way that creates distance. We let our guards down because we're not going to be offended. It doesn't directly apply to us. And that is one of the magical things about stories. We talk about real life things in a way that is unreal. It's about finding the truth in the lie, so to speak. Fiction, imaginary, make-believe stories have changed the world for the better. Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin is credited as being one of the major catalysts for the American Civil War. It single-handedly changed Northern attitudes about slavery, which led to the Civil War, which led to America freeing the slaves. When I was in high school, we were always watching videos about how bullying is bad. But it wasn't until I read Carrie by Stephen King that I was able to see how destructive and dangerous bullying could be. Modern romanticy has ruined more relationships than reality TV ever could. I don't have the numbers on this, but it's going to end up being true. I promise. Sister, for crying out loud, there are still people who identify by their Hogwarts houses. Fiction has changed the world for the better or for the worse. It's just so powerful. These stories and the characters that inhabit them are not real, but the lessons we learn as readers are. They cast a long shadow, and the wisdom and lessons they transmit to the reader can have a profound effect on us and our culture and our society. You can read Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, and you should, or you could read some epic fantasy for several months and learn all the same lessons in a way that is enjoyable and that you'll remember. You can read the latest books about politics, or you could read 1984 and Brave New World and learn about all these things that these politicians are warning us about in a way that is enjoyable and that you'll remember for years to come. Reading the biography of Elon Musk may inspire you. It may make you a better person, but you know what will definitely inspire you? Rock Lee, Dobby, Samwise Gamgee. These characters are fictional, but I've yet to meet a single person that consumed the stories that these characters preside in that weren't inspired, that weren't made better by these fictional characters existing. We all draw inspiration from fictional characters. I know I'm not the only one. Who are some fictional characters that inspire you? Leave them in the comments below. Fictional heroes, unlike their real-world counterparts, are immune to stupid mistakes and slip-ups. You're never going to see your favorite fictional character get canceled after saying something stupid on a podcast or posting something edgy on social media. They can't disappoint you. You learn the lessons from their lives, and it just ends on that high point. It can't get worse. It can only get better with time. In fact, if you reread a story, I'm sure the character that inspired you when you were a teenager will inspire you in a different way as an adult. And isn't that magical? How these stories, the words on the page stay the same, but the lessons are ever changing. I've literally read hundreds of works of nonfiction about finance, self-help, philosophy, ethics, politics, the biographies of great individuals. They're all inspiring, but is that knowledge really usable for most people? I know 1,001 factoids about random things that have never added value to my life. So many little knowledgeable gems that may never affect anything. So, in a way, even though it is not fiction, it is completely worthless information. It is just as much a waste of time as reading a story and never thinking about it again. One of the main shortcomings about nonfiction is that it tells you exactly what to think. Oftentimes, works of nonfiction and fiction are teaching the same lessons. The problem with nonfiction is those lessons don't stick. It takes time and repetition and emotional cost for someone to actually learn their lesson. There's a reason why we all keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again until the same mistake happens in a slightly different context with different emotions accompanying it. And then all of a sudden, the lesson clicks. It makes sense. You are changed. You have now grown as a person because the story of your life has finally illustrated that point to you. That does not happen usually when you read nonfiction. But if you spend 800 pages of a work of fiction where they are hiding the truth of these lessons in the lie of this fictionalized story, you're going to learn those lessons. Read enough stories, and you will learn so many things about life, about human nature, about philosophy, about ethics, about the nature of evil. You'll learn about all these great, all important things in a way that is enjoyable, in a way that you will absorb, in a way that you will never forget. There's a reason why when you read a great story and it moves you to tears and it changes you, you remember it forever. The lessons we learn from reading fiction are endless. There are people who are reading Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Twilight, Dune in the present day, and they are coming away with things that no one else has come away with. They are learning lessons that perhaps even the author wasn't intending to teach, but because of their own unique personal experiences, they are coming away with these gems of wisdom from these stories that millions of people have read. And that's just super amazing. It's something that is truly magical. Good stories are timeless, and our relationships with these stories are metaphorically and basically literally alive and ever changing. Fiction may be just stories, but stories are powerful. Stories are magical. Stories are timeless. Stories change the world. Read more fiction.